Welcome students. Today I am going to discuss on board plot. The board plot of a transfer function is a useful graphical tool for the analysis and design of linear control systems in the frequency domain. The board plot is mainly used to determine the relative stability characteristics of a system, and it can also be used to find the effects of adding controllers and their parameters, which can be easily visualized. The board plot mainly consists of two plots which are drawn on semi-logarithmic graph sheet. First plot is the magnitude of the frequency response function in decibel. That is, if you are given a open loop transfer function T of j omega, its magnitude can be found and take 20 log of T of j omega, that will give the magnitude on a linear scale versus frequency on a logarithmic scale. Whereas the phase of the frequency response function on a linear scale versus frequency on a logarithmic scale. So these two plot is drawn. So this is a pictorial representation of board plot. This is drawn for a problem. Here the magnitude is the y-axis, which is a linear scale, whereas the horizontal axis is the logarithmic scale, is log omega. And the second plot is the phase angle plot. This is drawn the phase angle with respect to frequency in the logarithmic scale. So it is possible to construct the board plots of the open loop transfer functions, but the closed loop frequency response is not possible by using the board plot. It is also possible, however, to obtain the closed loop frequency response from the open loop frequency response. It is very useful to draw the board plots of the open loop transfer function. Then the closed loop frequency response can be evaluated from the open loop board plots. So if you are given the basic factor of T of j omega, T of j omega is the transfer function of a open loop transfer function. And let us consider a generalized transfer function in time constant form. T of s is equal to the numerator k summation of 1 plus Tp into s, and divided by s power n into 1 plus s power n to 1 plus Tms into quadratic factors. That is 1 plus 2 delta s divided by omega n plus s square divided by omega n square. This is a second order function. So the numerator polynomial consists of zeros of the system, whereas denominator polynomial consists of poles of the system. The logarithmic magnitude of T of j omega can be obtained by summation of the logarithmic magnitude of individual terms. So in the previous sessions, we have discussed about the polar plot, where we have found the magnitude with the multiplications and divisions. We have used multiplication divisions, which is sometimes very difficult to find out the magnitude. Whereas here in the board plot, we use logarithmic scale so we get addition subtraction operation. So board plot is very easy to draw compared with the polar plot with respect to computations. So for the given transfer function, so T of s is equal to numerator zeros divided by denominator poles terms. So we take log of the given T of s on both sides. So we'll get log of T of j omega, which is equal to the numerator k log of k plus log of 1 plus j omega Tp. Then the denominator can be written as with respect minus. So minus log of j omega power n. This is for s power n minus summation of log of 1 plus j omega tm minus then this quadratic function. So here you can see that the multiplication and divisions in the actual transfer function is transformed into addition and subtraction in logarithmic scale. And the phase of t of j omega can be obtained as in the case of the previous sessions. So phi equal to t of j omega angle can be written as tan inverse of omega tp, the numerator term, minus n of, here it is s power n, can be written as n multiplied with a 90 degree. Suppose if it is s square, so it is 2 into 90. So this is the type of the system into 90 degree. So minus summation of tan inverse of omega tm minus tan inverse of 2 delta omega nq divided by, that is image part divided by real part for a second order equation. Now we will discuss the steps involved in drawing the port plot. So we have to find out the gain for each factor of t of j omega. First we have to find out the gain value k. So if you take, it is normally a constant, then the integral term, it is like 1 by s square s cube. This can be written as 1 by j omega or 1 by j omega square, or derivative term which will come in the numerator, j omega or j omega square. So these are all poles and zeros available at the origin. Third is first order factor. So in the first order factor, the poles will be like 1 divided by 1 plus j omega t, and in the numerator 0 term 1 plus j omega t, and the quadratic factor, it is a second order expression. Now the next step is how to draw these factors in a board plot, in a semi-logarithmic graph sheet. So we'll be using semi-log graph sheet for drawing the board plot. So before going to draw the board plot, first we look into some of the terminologies. So the magnitude term of magnitude of the port plot is normally specified in decibels because it is a logarithmic scale. 20 log of the magnitude. This magnitude in decibel is equal to 20 log m. Then frequency ranges may be expressed in terms of decades or octaves. Decade is nothing but frequency band from omega to 10 omega. Suppose omega is 1 hertz, it is 1 to 10 radian per second. And the octave will be from frequency band from omega to 2 omega. Normally we will be using decade term in drawing the board plot. Then gain factor multiplies the overall gain by a constant value for all frequency. So for a g of s is equal k, so g of j omega equal to k. So taking 20 log of k, you will get a constant magnitude with respect to frequency, and the phase angle for this will be 0. So with respect to frequency. And the next term, integral factor, where these are the poles are zeros at the origin. So here 1 by j omega is a pole at the origin. So the magnitude is a straight line with a slope of minus. So for drawing the port plot for this factor, so we'll get a magnitude in a straight line with a slope of minus 20 decibel per decade. It will become 0 at omega equal to 1. So here you can see g of s equal to 1 by s is this integral function. So g of j omega equal to 1 by j omega. So taking 20 log of this function, so you will get minus 20 log omega. So when omega equal to 1, the first factor 1, so its magnitude is 0. When omega equal to 10, log 10 is equal to 1. So we'll get minus 20. So the magnitude is minus 20. So between 1 decade. So this is the 1 decade. So 1, the next frequency is 10. So it is 1 decade upward. So the magnitude difference is minus 20, which is called as 20 decibel per decade. So the curve will look like this. And for a phase angle, so for a integral term, the phase angle will be minus 90. If it is 1 by s square, so it is a type 2 system. So we'll get 2 into 90, so we'll get minus 180 degrees. So in this way, for a higher types, that is 1 by s cube, you have to multiply with the type number into the angle 90 degree. So we'll get the actual angle. So the angle plot will look like this. Okay, so it will be a minus 90 degree with respect to frequency. Suppose there are double pole at the origin, as I mentioned, for g of s equal to 1 by s square. So 20 log of 1 by omega square. So here, so this 1 by omega square can be written as 1 omega power minus 2. So minus 2 can be bring this at, so minus 40 log omega. So we'll get a slope of minus 40 decibel per decade. So at omega equal to 1, you will get 0. When omega equal to 10, log 10, you will get 1. So you will get minus 40. So magnitude is minus 40. So the slope will be minus 40 decibel. So yeah, double pole at the origin or type 2 system will contribute to a slope of minus 40 decibel per decade. And this function g of s divided by 1 by s square contribute to a phase angle of minus 180 degree with respect to omega. So in this way, for a higher order type, for a higher type or s cube, suppose if it is 1 by s cube, you will this function will contribute to a minus 60 decibel per decade slope, and the angle will be minus 270. Suppose there is a 0 at the origin, j omega term in the function. So it will contribute to a positive slope, 20 decibel per decade. So when g of s is equal to s, so you can see that 20 log of omega. So when omega equal to 0, its value equal to omega log omega. When omega equal to 1, so log 1 equal to 0. So 20 into 0, you will get 0. That when omega equal to 10, that is 1 decade apart, the frequency, log 10 equal to 1. So we'll get 20 into 1 is equal to 20. So we'll get magnitude 20. So the slope will be 20 decibel per decade, whereas the magnitude is at 20 with a slope of 20 decibel per decade, positive. It is a positive. The angle for a zeros will be plus 90 degree. And suppose if it is s square term, you will get 180 and the slope of plus 40 per decibel per decade. So which is shown in this plot. And third, suppose if there is a first order factor, first order system, g of s is equal to 1 by 1 plus t of s. So you can find the magnitude as 20 log of 1 divided by square root of 1 plus omega square t square. So 20 log of 1 becomes 0 here, then minus 20 log of square root of 1 plus omega square t square. This term will be the magnitude for the given first order system. And whereas the phase angle is tan inverse of minus omega t, minus tan inverse of omega t. So here there are two conditions. One is when omega equal to 1 by t, and second case is omega equal less than 1 by t, and third case is omega is greater than 1 by t. There are three cases arises for this, because the omega can be varied from 0 to infinity. So depending upon this coefficient t, you can draw the plot. So here you can see when omega is less than 1 by t. So when omega is less than 1 by t, which is very, very small compared with 1. So you'll get minus 20 log of 1 becomes 0. So you'll get almost 0 when omega equal to 1 by t. When it reaches 1 by t, so you will get a magnitude of some minus 3 decibel. Then when omega greater than 1 by t, so what will happen here? So omega is greater than 1 by t, which is higher than 1. This greater than 1. So what will happen? So this term becomes log of square root of omega square t square, which is now becomes minus 40, minus 20 log of omega t. So minus 20 log of omega t. So for this function, omega is now, if you vary the omega, so you'll get a slope with a, so from starting from this point to this point, 1 decade apart. So you'll get a magnitude of minus 20. So this first order factor or a first order system will contribute to a slope of minus 20 decibel per decade. The slope will be minus 20 decibel per decade. Right? So here this dotted line is the actual graph for a first order system, whereas this yellow line is the approximate line. So starting from this 1 by t to 10 by t, 1 decade apart, you get a slope minus 20 decibel per decade. Right? Next, this is also same for the first order factor, where when omega equal to exactly 1 by t, so you'll get a magnitude of minus 3 decibel here. So when you compare the actual plot and the approximate plot, there will be a error of minus 3 decibel per decade, which is very, very minimum compared to with the actual magnitude. So we can draw an approximate plot very easily compared with the actual plot because the error is very, very minimum. So this is for the different frequency ranges. What would be the error in decibel? Starting from 0.1 by t to then 10 by t. You can see the error is maximum at 1 by t. This is minus 3 decibel per decade. So next, so normally the first order factor is mainly used as a low pass filter. So at low frequency, the magnitude ratio is almost 1. The output can follow the input. For higher frequency, however, the output cannot follow the input because a certain amount of time is required to build up output magnitude. Thus, the higher the corner frequency, the faster the system response. And this one is the phase angle plot. So you can draw this plot with respect to frequency. So phi equal minus tan inverse omega t. So you'll get a curve, linear curve like this for a first order system. The angle will be starting from 0 to maximum minus 90 degree while varying the omega from 0 to maximum. That is 1 decade apart or higher than that. And so next we will take a first order factor which consists of only zeros, real zeros. So the g of s is 1 plus ts. Here g of j omega equal to 1 plus omega tj. So the magnitude for this is m equal to 20 log of square root of 1 plus omega square t square. And the phase angle is tan inverse omega t. All are positive here. So in the same way, in the case of the poles, here for a 0, you will get all the values in positive. That is the difference between the poles and zeros of the first order systems. So here you can see when omega is less than 1 by t, so you'll get 0, almost 0 value starting from this point. When omega is higher than 1 by t, so you'll get a 20 log of omega t. So you will get a linear curve. So at 10 tcad, that is 1 tcad apart, 10 by t, the slope will be plus 20 decibel per tcad. So for every 10 tcad apart, you will get a slope of 20 decibel per tcad for the given function. So this is a dotted line's approximate curve with the error of minus 3 decibel with respect to the approximate plot. You can see the yellow line is the approximate plot. This is the actual plot, this dotted line. So this is the phase angle curve. So it varies from 0 to 90 degree. You can see you will get a linear curve. Okay. So this is for a plot for a second order equation. So already we have derived this expression g of j omega, splitting this into real and imaginary, converting this into a complex number in the complex domain. Okay, converting this, you will get magnitude minus 20 log of square root of 1 minus omega divided by omega n square plus 2 delta omega divided by omega n square. This is the real part and this is the imaginary part. This is actually 1 minus omega divided by omega n square into whole square plus 2 delta omega divided by omega n whole square. You can see. So here for a quadratic factor, that is for a second order equation, there are two cases. When omega is very less than omega n, m becomes 0. Whereas for higher frequency, so omega is greater than omega n values, you will get minus 40 log of omega divided by omega n. You can simplify this. So for when omega is less than omega n, you can see this becomes negligibly very small. Okay. And for omega greater than omega n, simplifying this, you will get minus 20 log of omega divided by omega n square. Okay. So you'll get minus 40 log of omega divided by. So this will contribute a slope of minus 40 decibel per tcad. So this is a plot for a second order system with a 40 decibel per decade slope. So in this second order case, you will get a small oscillation at the starting point. When omega equal to omega n, there will be a small oscillation, some peaks you can see here. It depends upon the damping factor value. But after that, you will get a slope of minus 40 decibel per decade. Next is the phase angle plot. So the phase angle is equal to minus tan inverse of 2 delta omega divided by omega n. That is imaginary part divided by 1 minus omega divided by omega n square. So at lower frequency, when omega equal to omega n, you will get minus 90 degree. At higher frequency, you will get minus 180 degrees. So we will get a curve in between minus 90 to minus 180. Okay, so this is because of the for a second order system, there will be oscillations. So this is the actual curve with some oscillations, whereas the approximate curve will be a straight line, this red line with respect to frequency. Okay, so let us consider a problem. So while solving this problem, first you have to factorize what is the constant term and what is the zeros and poles and poles at origin and second order factors. So you can see before starting the problem, first we have to split this in based on the corner frequency. The corner frequency is nothing but the coefficient of S term. So here you can see the corner frequency, the coefficient of S is 1. Here it is S divided by 10. So you convert this into time constant form. After that, you can find the corner frequency. So the coefficient of S here is 1. Here it is 0.1. So reciprocal of this will give 10. Then for this, for each factor, find the corner frequencies. Coefficient of S square is 0.1. So you'll get corner frequency of 10, right? So while actually drawing this polar board plot, you have to find out the corner frequency. So as I already discussed, each factor, that is zeros and poles, will contribute some slope at each corner frequency. So for example, this one, yes, it is a 0 at 0. It is a first order factor. So it will contribute a plus 20 per decibel decade. And here 1 by S will contribute a minus 20 decibel per decade. And 1 divided by S plus 10 will contribute a minus 20 decibel per decade. Whereas the second order factor, quadratic factor, will contribute minus 40 decibel per decade. So accordingly, for each corner frequency, the slope will change, right? So while drawing this plot for the given function, for considering all the factors, that is poles and zeros, you can see here, you can see that this 1 plus, starting at this point, when omega equal to 1, at this point, so 1 plus j omega, it contribute plus 20 decibel per decade. So for each decade, the magnitude difference will be 20 decibel per decade. Okay. And for this, 1 by j will contribute minus 20 decibel per decade. And 1 divided by 1 plus 0.1 j omega, it contributes minus 20 decibel per decade. And here this white line, it is a quadratic factor, it contributes minus 40 decibel per decade. So here you can see this 1 by j omega, the integral factor starting at origin. You can see here at some magnitude here, and it goes in the same. After when it reaches the first corner frequency at 1, the next factor, that is 1 plus j omega, start contributing 20 decibel per decade. Here you can see up to this point. Okay. Then after that, this 1 divided by 1 plus 0.1 j omega, it start and it contribute minus 20 decibel per decade. Okay. Then after this frequency 100, at 100, this quadratic factor contribute minus 40 decibel per decade. Why this delay? So initially this 1 by j omega start at 0. Then this 1 plus j omega, because the corner frequencies, first corner frequency is 1. Before that, you can take any corner frequency. It may be taken as 0 or 0.1 here. Then next corner frequency will be coefficient of S here is 0.1 and the reciprocal is 10. So you have taken this corner frequency. Okay. So and then quadratic factor, the corner frequency is 0.1 square. That is 1 by 0.1 square, you will get 100. Okay. So this will start here. Okay. So at each point, each corner frequency, when you add all the values, okay, you will get the dotted line. Okay. Here, this is the dotted line. This pink color is the actual board plot. Okay. So in this manner, so this is one method. So first you draw the board plot for each factor, then add all the factor. When you add all, you will get the corresponding values, the actual plot, board plot, which is in the dotted line. Okay. And here, this is for phase plot. Here also, for each factor, what is the phase angle, then add all the values, you will get a phase angle plot. This dotted line denote the phase angle plot. But actually, this is we are not actually drawing the board plot in this manner. there are some standard procedure available for drawing the port plot. So where we need not to find the magnitude phase angle for each factor. Instead, we will be find the magnitude phase angle at each corner frequency. Then finally, we will draw the actual plot that we will discuss in the next class. Okay. So this is a board plot for the given problem. The magnitude plot and the phase angle plot. And stability. How do you find the stability of a system by using the board plot? The transfer function which have no poles or zeros on the right hand side of the complex plane are called minimum phase transfer function. That is, if you have a transfer function, the numerator have zeros and the denominator has poles. Okay, we can find the value of S, that is poles and the zeros of a system. Suppose in the S plane, if you locate the poles and zeros, if the poles are located on the left half of S plane, the system will be stable. On the imaginary axis, the system will be marginally stable or oscillatory nature. Whereas if the poles and zeros are located on the right half of S plane, the system will be unstable. Okay. So where the system having the poles and zeros on the right hand side of the complex plane, normally that transfer function is called minimum phase transfer function. Suppose in some system, in the transfer function, okay, if the zeros and poles are on the right side, on the other hand have zeros, that is if all the poles and zeros are on the left side, or then the system is minimum phase. If the poles and zeros are located on the right side, that is called non-minimum phase. Okay, normally this port plot is mainly used for minimum phase function, that is the poles and zeros location on the left side of the S plane. Okay, how do you find the stability? So here you can see, as I already told you that, so we cannot directly find out the stability by using the closed loop transfer function. Instead, we can have the initially find the open loop transfer function from the closed loop transfer function. That is, the characteristic equation is 1 plus g of s h of s So here, the given transfer closed loop system, the characteristic equation is 1 plus g of s h of s, which is 0. And from this, you can find g of s h of s is equal to -1. So g of s h of s is the open loop transfer function. So taking logarithmic scale for this, 20 log of g of j omega h of j omega becomes 20 log of 1, which is 0. And the angle is -180 degree. So when the magnitude and the phase angle of your transfer functions are 0 decibel and -180 degree, then the system is marginally stable. The system will be oscillatory nature. If at the frequency for which the phase becomes equal to -180, gain is 0, that is below 0 decibel, the system is stable. Or otherwise it will be unstable. Further, if at the frequency for which gain becomes equal to 0, phase is above -180, then the system is stable or otherwise unstable. So the relative stability of a minimum phase system can be determined according to this observation, whether after drawing the port plot with reference to -180, we can find out the gain margin and the phase margin also. Based on that, the system can be stated as whether it is stable or unstable. Okay. So as already we have discussed about gain margin, phase margin. Gain margin is the additional gain to make the system marginally stable at a frequency for which the phase of the open loop transfer function passes through -180 degree. Whereas phase margin is additional phase angle to make the system marginally stable at a frequency for which the magnitude of the open loop transfer function is 0 decibel. Here, this is a plot drawn for a function, transfer function. From the port plot, we can find the gain margin, phase margin as stated in the phase margin, gain margin statement. Here at -180 degree, you can say at -180 degree, corresponding to this, you find the magnitude. You can see the magnitude difference between this point to 0 decibel. Okay, this will give the gain margin. Then corresponding to 0 decibel. Okay, you extend this line to phase angle plot. It meet at one point. So between this point and minus 180 degree, what is the phase angle difference? That will give the phase margin, right? So already in the polar, while drawing the polar plot, we have stated that gain margin, phase margin, whereas gain margin is obtained at phase crossover frequency. That is phase angle, the polar plot crosses minus 180 degree, the corresponding frequency, and you find the magnitude, the reciprocal of the magnitude will give the this gain margin. Whereas for finding the phase margin at unity magnitude, what is the phase angle? That will give the phase margin. Okay, here we are finding the phase gain margin in terms of decibel magnitude. So actually the gain margin is 20 log of 1 by m. That is, m is at phase crossover frequency. So 20 log of 1 by m becomes minus 20 log of m. So here, if we get negative value in the board plot, the actual gain margin will be positive. If we get positive gain margin in the plot, the actual gain margin will be negative. So in this way, you can find gain margin, phase margin from the board plot, and also you can state the stability of the system. So in this video session, so we have seen the basic concept of board plot and how to draw the board plot, and how to find the phase margin, gain margin from the board plot. Thank you.